Hello and welcome to the Culer Corner podcast with your host Jose Gonzalez and
Ayham.
all right. So I think we just need to start off with the news of the weekend. I mean that Barcelona Derby Barcelona, right?
Yeah.
Coming off of a good streak for both teams. I mean, uh, fifth place in La Liga for Espanyol coming into it, and what was in the headlines the most was Joan Garcia Pons. Now, for those of you who might be new to following Barcelona, he was an ex-Espanyol player, and he basically saved them from relegation last season. He was the best goalkeeper in La Liga, undoubtedly, last season. Um, so moving to your biggest rivals, you're gonna expect some sort of hatred, but I think this level was another tier of hatred. I mean, there was plans of throwing stuffed rats at him. There was money planted outside of the stadium with his face on it. There was a sign outside of the stadium calling him Judas, the literal devil. And because of this, they had to install nets behind both goals, which is, I mean, Ayham, what do you think?
Yeah, it's not surprising that Espanyol fans would do something like this. We've seen it before in 2023 when we won La Liga in their stadium and we were celebrating and they stormed the pitch. So all the players had to rush in to the locker rooms because of how dangerous it was. Every single Espanyol fan was on the pitch. And last season as well when we won La Liga, they told us before the game that we should not celebrate and we should go immediately to the locker room because of what could happen if we were to win the game in like win La Liga in Espanyol's ground. So we know how like dangerous that their fans are, and even in those prior encounters, they didn't have to put up a net or anything like that. And we saw that in this game. I remember at one point the players were drinking water because someone was injured or something near the box near the end of the game, and there were bottles being thrown at the players, and like they landed on the pitch. They landed very close to their players. Balde even picked one up, and he was about to throw it back at the fans, but then like he stopped himself. He knew he would get like fined or whatever. So this kind of behavior it was expected, right, from this sort of group of fans. But at the end of the day, like the net pretty much saved most of the whatever was going to be thrown.
No, yeah, definitely. But I think we can confidently say after this game, 2-0 victory, Barcelona no miss es Blaugrana. I mean,
Yes.
we killed Espanyol. I mean, like such a satisfying win. I can't lie. I hate Espanyol. Anyway,
Yeah, and the derby.
um, also we need to talk about Joan Garcia again. Man of the match, my MVP. Give him my first child. Give him my first house, my first child, my inheritance. It's all given to him. Uh, Speechless. Such a good player. Like you can't make this up. Our best signing ever since Messi left. Our best signing since Messi left.
Not even crazy to say. You've had some good signings, Rafinha, Lewandowski, but Joan Garcia, he's on another level. This game was all Joan Garcia's game. It was all him. Six saves, 1.97 xG that he prevented. He was on a whole nother level. That first save off the header, where the ball got crossed in and it got flicked on. I have no idea how he saved that. Even now, a day, 2 days after the game, I still have absolutely no idea how he saved that shot. It just like it was in the air and then he moved his whole entire body and saved it. Like it was crazy. This game, he was just he was everywhere. It's like he had 8 legs. Like he was a spider. Like he was everywhere this whole entire game. And this is
Not
just
even that. Like I'm sorry to interrupt you, but in I was watching this game in El Salvador. I was on vacation, and in Spanish we have a term called mano a mano. That's basically going one on one with the keeper, and a literal translation of that is
mhm,
hand to hand. Right,
mhm.
one on one with the keeper. This guy just dives on the floor and punches the ball out of his feet. I mean, so
That's
good.
crazy.
Anyway, keep going.
Like one on one. The player rounds him. He takes the ball around him, and Garcia's on the ground. What he does, he still pokes the ball away. Like the things that this guy does as a keeper. I texted it. I texted it to you, and I'll say it again. He's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen
No,
anybody
genuinely.
with these reflexes, with this somebody that's this quick, and he can play with his feet too, and he can play as a sweeper. The things that this guy genuinely he can become one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time if he
No,
keeps on
I
playing this
agree.
way. I've
And
never seen
like,
a player put in so many performances that are so high level consistently throughout the whole entire season without one bad game, and he's just doing this coming off an injury as well. He was injured for a month, and he's still putting in performances like this.
yeah, and like the fact that he's even a debate for the Spain national team job is insane. Like David Raya, you never see Unai Simon playing like this. Unai Simon conceded 4 this weekend. We would have conceded 4 if it wasn't for Joan Garcia. Let's be completely honest. That wasn't a great game from us defensively. And what killed me the most, after 6 incredible saves, they panned over the camera and we saw Chesney and Ter Stegen. The funniest thing ever, because you could just see like, yeah, I'm never getting on this field again. But yeah, talking about that defense, I mean, sloppy. There's no like facing a team that can finish, that has more dynamic attacking players. We would be cooked. Like Joan Garcia can only save us enough, but we need defensive reinforcements. Now, our attacking wasn't great either. Like Rashford, Ferran, Rafinha, they weren't that good this game. I feel like as fans, as supporters, we have to be honest when our players are not playing good, and they weren't. They just didn't. I don't know. They didn't show up this game.
Yeah, I think we have to be critical. Rashford this game is very underwhelming. He didn't create anything. He didn't do anything that really helped us. Ferran this game I think was very disappointing. Every touch would like every touch would turn into a duel. Like he would turn into Bellingham in that first half. Every touch was bad. He had a 1v1 opportunity, and he did what Ronaldo did the other day and just got the ball stuck under his feet. He just wasn't on it this game. And Rafinha, I think he wasn't bad, but by his standards and what he can produce in like a cagey game like this, I think he underperformed a little bit as well. And that's why our super subs came in very very clutch in this game. This was a game where our subs were the turning point for us in terms of the attack, because the defense was a little bit sloppy, and what saved our defense was Joan Garcia, and as well Balde. I think Balde had a very great performance in defense. That Aura farming right winger that they have, the guy with the braids and the long socks, he
Locked
got
up,
he got locked up by
strapped,
he got
strapped.
locked up by Balde. Offense and defense, Balde dribbled past him multiple times. They couldn't stop him. Honestly, I think that's why they wanted to throw the bottles at him, because the fans got upset at him too, because he was having such a great performance. But going back to the super subs, Fermin, Dani Olmo, and Lewandowski all had impacts on the game,
Fire.
especially for me, Fermin Lopez. He came into that game,
Yes.
he changed that attacking flow. He assisted both Olmo and Lewandowski for both of the goals in the last minutes. I think Fermin is just he's phenomenal at cam, and I think Dani Olmo is picking up his pace a little bit as well after that shoulder injury. He comes in, he scores a wonderful goal, like a wonderful finesse goal, first time into the top corner, right after he gets injured while scoring another goal as well. And Lewandowski as well, he comes in and he scores again like a true poacher. And I think it kind of shows like the depth that we have on the bench in games like these where we need some people to step up. I think that's like shows the quality that we have.
Yeah, like I completely agree. Balde, like you said, very good. Fermin, he had a Pedri-esque performance, determined the flow of the game. We saw this before the Olmo goal. He got the ball, quick touch, beat the defender, ran it down through, gathered the defenders in 3-on-1, passed it to Olmo, and Olmo. That finish, I think we all thought it's not going in. We all thought that once he shot it. But he hit the little circle, R1, top bins, perfect. And
Perfect.
then, as you said, Lewandowski as well. I mean, calm, collected in front of goal. He didn't sky it like his penalties. He just chipped it over the defender and the keeper. Not much you can do against Lewandowski in that position. Now, talking about another finisher, a good player, João Cancelo. Here we go. Officially confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. Loan move until June 2026. $5 million loan option in wages. And how do you feel that we have a right back instead of a center back signing for this January?
I think it was pretty, for me at least, pretty obvious that we weren't going to be able to secure a center back in January. I think there was no way that with the financial issues that we have right now and the registering problems and all of that, that we were going to be able to sign a center back. Because I think at the end of the season, with the income that we get, mainly from the Camp Nou, once it gets the approval for 60,000 fans, I think after that we're going to start getting much more revenue, which we're then going to be able to put towards a high quality center back in the summer, instead of trying to go for we need to sign a center back. Why don't we just sign this guy for a little bit or on a loan in January? Instead, we can pour our money towards an actual good, high-quality center back, mainly Schlotterbeck, during the summer transfer window. But I also think this was a pretty a slick signing for Flick and Barca's team, because the way that Joao Cancelo can fit into this team, he can fit in as a left back, he can fit in as a right back, and in that right back role, it allows Koundé to play as a center back, which was his original position before he moved to Barcelona. When he was in his early days at Barcelona and when he was at Sevilla, he would be playing center back. His original position was a center back before he got converted to right back. So this signing, it secretly gives us an extra center back. If you look at it, with Koundé and Joao Cancelo together, it technically gives us a center back, as if we got a new center back signing. And I think that's what is like the most important part of this signing.
Yeah, like, now defensively at his time at Barcelona, I have to be honest, he wasn't that great. But he did pose a lot of an attacking threat. And I think what I'm happy about is that Hansi Flick said he loves Joao Cancelo. He's ready to fit him in the team. And there's been many times where people have doubted Flick, and he pulls through. So I put my faith in Flick. If he's happy, I'm happy. And as you said, about possible center back, you could look at it that way, but it's still an issue that we do need a center back. And a lot of the Barca players, and we actually saw this, Alessandro Bastoni from Inter Milan, he's been liking posts about him coming to Barca. We could see some of that, like Marcus Rashford. Remember in the transfer saga? When, he started liking posts about Barcelona, kind of like that. And there's a lot of Barcelona players who are very friendly with Bastoni.
Yeah.
So, possible summer, maybe January, but I don't see it going just like that. Now, moving on to other news. Later this week, this Wednesday, we have a Supercopa de España match against Bilbao. Now, Araujo, thankfully, is back in the squad after his month-long hiatus due to personal reasons. Now, I think he's ready, training with the team. It's up to Flick to start him. I don't think he'll start, but we'll get to that in a second. This is very important. We need to secure a spot in the final against either Atleti or Real Madrid. Now, Madrid, a 5-1 win against Betis. Pretty good. But last time they played Atleti, 5-2. I don't know.
They looked pretty shaky in that Betis match at the defense, to be honest. If I had to say so myself, there were a lot of chances for the Betis players. One of them hit the crossbar. Courtois saved them a couple times as well, and the defense came in clutch right at the last second. Like their defense got split, and then Valverde had to save them with a last ditch tackle or something like that. So I think their defense might still be a problem, and we're gonna be able to. I think we might see it against Atleti. I think Atleti might be able to shock them, pull an upset like they did in September with that 5-2, with the quality that they have. Mainly Julian Alvarez is against Real Madrid. He's gonna do something special. I think he's gonna harm them in their defense, and I think they might get exposed this game for how sloppy their defense has been.
Hopefully. Although an El Clasico final, remember last year? Good memories. But yeah, I agree. Julian Alvarez, hopefully, just very sloppy in the defense. Betis very sloppy in the offense against this 5-1 Real Madrid team. Gonzalo Garcia is probably their biggest threat. Scored a hat-trick on the weekend, but yeah, I just don't see Madrid in the form, even though they just came off of a huge win, in the form to beat Atletico. Now, talking about form, we need to talk about Barcelona and Atletico Bilbao's form coming into this game. Now, Barcelona just came off of a shaky but imponent 2-0 win against Espanyol, and their form has just been win. Ever since the El Clasico, it's just been playing really good. I mean, ever since Chelsea,
We haven't lost it.
we haven't lost a single game.
We've won every game.
Haven't dropped a single point. And Bilbao came off of conceding 4 this weekend.
Yeah,
I mean,
Bilbao's form has been very, very weird. Honestly, they dropped points against Espanyol. They dropped points against Osasuna. They obviously won their Copa del Rey game. Then they went and they tied against PSG, and then they beat Atletico, but then they lost to Madrid. So like their form lately has been pretty obscure. It's been like, how do I say? It's been here and there. It's been half and half. And I don't know what we're going to see in this game. They have not been consistent at all this season. But I think against Barcelona's consistency, we've already beat them this season at the Camp Nou, the return to the Camp Nou. We've already beat them 4-0 in a dominant performance where they got a red card. We already played them in the Super Cup in the semifinals again last year, and we beat them 2-0. They haven't really been a threat to us in the Super Cup or the Copa del Rey. Although we've played very often, they haven't really been a threat that much. We won the Copa del Rey against them in 2021. However, we've been consistently getting performances against them. We won both games against them last season, and we keep on dominating them every game. So I think this one is going to be the same, and I do think that very confidently we're going to get a spot in the final.
Yeah, I agree. Score prediction is coming very soon after our starting 11s, but like you said it perfectly. Just a lot of matchups and very few performances, kind of like Espanyol. Going back to that earlier weekend game, a lot of matchups and very few performances from Espanyol. Now, talking about lineups, I'll go into my starting lineups first, and then we can go to Ayham. So my starting lineup, in goal, nobody else but Joan Garcia Pons. Already talked about him enough this episode. No more needs to be said. Now, in my right back, I would play Jules Koundé, and center backs, I would put Culer and Gerard Maldini with Balde at left back. We've seen this pairing before many times this season. Very solid. And hopefully, after January, we're going to put Cancelo in that. Now, in my midfield, I would put Frenkie de Jong. Unfortunately, Pedri's not going to be able to play this game. Or I don't think he's going to start this game, just because I don't think Flick wants to overload him. He could come into a more advanced position later in the game, but I think Hansi Flick is going to prefer Frenkie de Jong and, surprisingly, Fermin. Kind of surprisingly, but I think he's earned it. I mean, like...
Fermin is a pivot, though?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I what I think.
Okay.
And then right wing, Lamine Yamal, Kunde pairing, very good. Fermin, Lamine Yamal, those two could go very well. Now, Rafinha and Rashford, you know, Rafinha playing in the position that he's been playing, Rashford out left. I mean, again, same pairing we've seen a lot this season. Rashford, although disappointing this Espanyol game, very solid other seasons. And I mean, against a team like Bilbao, I think he could exploit that space. And Rafinha, he's just Rafinha. And Ferran Torres up top, even though, unconvincing performance this game. I would like to see Flick managing that bench a little bit more this game. I think I loved what I saw against Espanyol with that bench managing. So I think we are going to see some interesting substitutions. What about your 11?
Alright, so my 11 is pretty similar. I think apart from the midfield in a little bit, I have Joan Garcia at goalkeeper. I have Balde out on the left, Gerald Maldini and Kubarsi as my two center backs, Kunde on the right. I have Eric Garcia and De Jong as my pivots, and I have Dani Olmo as the attacking 10. I have Rafinha out left, Lamine Yamal out right, and I put Lewandowski as a striker because I think we could use a poacher in this game.
Yeah.
He scored in just a couple minutes in against them earlier this season, so I think he knows how to play against Bilbao and he knows how to score in these types of games because he has multiple times before. So I think Lewa in this game I think he's gonna start, and I think he's gonna put in a better. I think he's gonna put in a good shift as our number 9.
Interesting. That's Lewandowski. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think he might not be the most standout player because for me, my standout player for this match is going to be Jules Koundé. Kind of a shout far in the dark, but we've seen Jules Koundé score 2 headers against Frankfurt, and this Bilbao side has conceded a good amount of corners and free kicks this season. Now, Koundé, we've seen him head before, so, a shout out there, he might score a goal or two. What about yours?
I think for me, my standout player, I'm gonna go niche here, very niche. I think it's gonna be Lamine Yamal. I think he's gonna have a very good performance. I think in this game, they're not gonna contain him. I think he's gonna score. He's gonna assist. He's gonna do everything that Lamine Yamal does in this game. Yeah, I think he's gonna run riot in this game against Bilbao. He's gonna show them no mercy. He's gonna like absolutely destroy their fullbacks. Do everything that we know he can do, and I think he's gonna be the standout.
What about your score prediction?
My score prediction. Thinking about the last game that we had, the 4-0, I think this time we have Rafinha. So we have even more strength in our offense. I think in this game it could be just like that 4-0. I think we can get like a 4-0, like a 5-1, 5-2 ish. I'm leaning a bit towards the 4-0 again.
That's not even a crazy shout. I mean, like, we've done it before. We can do it again. Me personally, I'm seeing a 3-0. I'm going to lock in 3-1, though. Because we've seen them compete against higher level teams, this Bilbao side. Out of nowhere, they just, like, spark and score a goal. But with the form that we're in, I think it's going to be a comfortable win. That one goal might come in the 60th minute when we're already 2-0, 3-0 up. So I think it's just going to be a closer game than we would like it to be, but it's not going to be a close game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But with that, I think we can confidently wrap up the episode and say thank you guys for listening to the Culer Corner podcast. Barcelona, top of the league, and hopefully making the semifinals. So, the final. And with that, thank you for listening, and Visca el Barça.
Visca,
Vamos.